I'm Kaylee, and today I'm going to do a quick video about some of my favorite books featuring castles. There is something about a book that is set in a castle. I mean, am I right? There's a reason why we all say that Hogwarts is our home. It's just something about a castle. There's a reason why so many books and mysteries and adventures are set in castles, because, I don't know, they're beautiful, they're vast, they're full of secrets and hidden passageways. There is something so fascinating about a castle. So today I want to tell you about some of my favorite books that feature very strongly a castle setting. Obviously, I've already said the first one on this book is the Harry Potter series, where we all feel like Hogwarts is our home. Another favorite is Tuesdays at the Castle. I love this one, and I talk about it a lot because this castle is magical and the rooms move around and you never quite know what door you're going to open and where you're going to end up. You might end up in the throne room, you might end up in the kitchen, you might end up in your bedroom or a tower or the stables. You just don't know, and I think that's pretty special. Obviously, any list with castles has to have Howl's moving castle on it. The wizard Howl carries his castle around. It moves around by magical power with this kind of intricate clockwork leg mechanism that just runs around the countryside and goes wherever he wants it to. Howl's Moving Castle is just such a whimsical and meaningful story. If you haven't read it or watched the Studio Ghibli movie, you really should, because although the movie and book are very different, they're each really special in their own ways. Another one is The Beasts of Clawstone Castle, about some people and some beasts who are just trying to find some peace and serenity, and they hope that the castle can protect them from the outside world. That's another big feature of castles. They are protective, you know, both metaphorically and actually physically in the plot. Castles are there to provide shelter. Another one that I'm not sure, can you call an abbey a castle? Is that the same thing? If it's like a palace, an abbey, a castle? I don't know. It's a castle. It's Redwall Abbey. I love the Redwall books, all about these little animal characters who live in a protective abbey. And then of course they have adventures, they have to fight off the bad guys. But one of my favorite things about the Redwall books are these legends and mysteries and secret passageways and ancient puzzles that have to be solved. I love Redwall. The second book in the Princess Academy series is Palace of Stone. The girls from the Princess Academy go to visit the royal palace, and they discover that there is kind of an ancient secret about the palace that they're able to use in order to fight off the bad guys. This is such a good one where the actual structure of the castle plays a really deep part in the character development of the characters, and also, of course, in the adventure and the plot. One of my favorite mystery series that's just fluff and fun and really silly is the Aunt Dimity series. And in Aunt Dimity and the Deep Blue Sea, Lori and her children, and I think her husband at one point, they all go to visit a massive castle by the sea. There are a lot of wonderful red herrings with, like, is the castle haunted? Or, you know, strange creaking noises and all sorts of fun, mysterious stuff. But most of that is just ends up being red herrings that is there just to bring color and fun to the plot. The Aunt Dimity books are perfect if you're looking for a really silly, fun, fluff read. The Enchanted Castle by Edith Nesbit is just such a charming, old-fashioned story. I love the way that Edith Nesbit takes just regular children who are just going about their day, doing their thing, and all of a sudden they are thrown into some kind of magical plot, and they have to, you know, figure things out and go on adventures and discover new worlds. Prisoner of Zenda by Anthony Hope is one of my favorite classics with a castle. A man basically goes on vacation, finds out that he is a doppelganger for the prince of the country that he's visiting, and he gets invited up to the royal castle and gets involved in some spy plots and some intrigue, and adventures ensue. I really want to reread Prisoner of Zenda soon. It's just so much action and fun. It kind of reminds me of the same sort of chivalry and duels of honor and stuff that you would see like in the Three Musketeers. Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe is full of really dark and creepy castles. This is just the epitome of Gothic literature and everything you would think of in a Gothic castle. Skeletons in the closet and blood on the curtains and secret passageways and the wind moaning through the windows. Like all of that fantastic setting is in Mysteries of Udolpho. The Romance of the Forest is another Gothic romance by Anne Radcliffe, but this time featuring a crumbling down, abandoned old abbey. But I mean, this place is built like this massive, spiritual palace. They have like dungeons and sealed off rooms with skeletons in them. And in the story, some people who are homeless actually end up moving into the couple of habitable rooms in the crumbling old abbey where it still has a roof overhead, and one of the girls goes exploring around the abbey trying to solve some mysteries. Ivanhoe has some really fantastic castles that are built for keeping off a siege. And I think at one point they are in a siege state. And you think of like the pot of boiling oil that they would pour over the side at the portcullis, and the moat and the drawbridge and all of that stuff. Just classic castle stuff. You've got it in Ivanhoe. I think they have a battering ram at one point, and of course the knights are all in their armor, and of course the lady is up in the tower. Save me, Ivanhoe. Oh, if you love some super classic, just incredible knights in shining armor kind of stuff, Ivanhoe is the book for you. Blandings Castle by P.G. Wodehouse is totally different. It's set in the 1920s or 1930s, I think, and it's just rip-roaring hilarious the entire way through. I think this is the first book in the Jeeves series. Jeeves is a manservant, a valet, and he's constantly having to get his employer out of trouble with hilarious results. And those are 13 of my favorite books with castles in them. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know what are some of your favorite castles, some of your favorite books with castle settings. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.